grateful to be a part of this. Everything that Humidity does for this community, stoked to have this opportunity. That's a good story. On 8th Street, I was riding at the time for Toxic Skateboards. Had sent in some sponsor me videos and did NSA contests, which was kind of how you got sponsored and turned pro back in the day. And Sal was a good friend of mine. He moved to California, rode for 8th Street, and he was like trying to get me and Dwayne on. So that's how I got on. Basically, Sal was like, yo, you got to come ride for 8th Street. And it kind of went from there.
What did your first package look like?
For 8th Street?
Yeah.
Or any package?
8th Street.
Gosh, that's a good question. It was probably like 7 or 8 boards, shirts, jacket, nice big fat box, like, because I was going from one company that I was riding for to quit to go ride for someone else. So it was a nicely packed, very full package.
How many boards did you break in the 8th Street video?
In the video, I break 4 that they show. And 2 were the backside 180 down like those big long stairs. It was in Long Beach at like a Hilton, and it was where they were having the trade show. We were out there for the trade show, and there was this huge gap. And I don't think anyone had backside 180 did. So I broke my board, and I rode someone else's board and broke their board. And then the other sequence in the video part is like a ollie up a little sidewalk, like it was real skinny setup, and then back 3 down this gap. And I broke my board, and then Koston was on the session, and he gave me his board. And I think I was more upset that I broke the board and didn't make it, and so I like threw it up, and I was all, oh well, sorry, Koston. It was a barrier that was behind a Jack in the Box, if I'm not mistaken. And it was at the very end of the parking lot in the back, kind of like this turnaround part of the road. I don't even know who discovered it, but it was a really sick spot. Went there with the guys. I don't know, there's not so much of a story behind it as much as I remember hitting my head really hard. I did backtail a couple times and tried to back lip it, and like just bammed my head super hard. Like saw stars, like almost cried. Like that's the only story I can remember from that. But I know we used that photo in like a catalog and an ad. That was a fun time.
How did you feel at first going into team managing?
Well, I moved to California in '98 and was lost for about 2 years, just trying to, what am I doing? Figure things out. And then I was friends with some of the guys at Foundation and that whole crew that we skated together. I was friends with those guys, and their team manager was leaving, so they had an open position. So I went interview with Swank for it, and I didn't really hear anything back. So I didn't know, like, did I do good? Did I do terrible? Like, what's going on? And then it was, they took their time, I guess, to decide what they're going to do. And I remember I got hired, and it was that guy's last week, and literally he just had like a week to show me, like, all right, you do this. For Pig, you do this. For Toy Machine, you do this. For Foundation, you do this. Like, so it wasn't a real weird transition. It was actually really cool because at that point, I was still skating a ton, and it was a way for me to be involved skating in skateboard industry and like not more or less have to worry about being pro, like making money, because I had a paycheck and I was around it all the time. And I fucking loved it. I did it for 15 years. Like, I should have done it for like 3 years. But I loved it, and like, super lucky, traveled the world, all over the place. We toured all the time, and I helped so many young up-and-coming dudes, like, with their careers, and helped them with, just learning how the system works.
Yeah. Moving forward to the future, who were the 2 pros on World Industries that didn't happen?
That didn't happen? I mean, like, they didn't turn pro, or what do you, so that was an interesting time. Like, I went to work over there. Before that, we were kind of doing a distribution with Markovich, myself, some other partners, and it kind of went sideways, and I was sort of stuck between this rock and a hard place of, almost like, hey, what side are you going to choose?
Yeah.
And the opportunity came, and I was like, look, I'm going to go do my own thing. Prior to that, like, Markovich and I, best friends, we did tons of stuff together. Like, we were kind of like thick as thieves. You'd see one, you'd see the other. And he had moved away. We were doing this distribution. Other people are involved. I needed for myself to go and do my own thing and know that, like, I earned it. I can do it on my own. So I saw an opportunity to go to World, and I was like, dude, what an opportunity to be able to, like, see if we could bring this iconic brand back. At that point, it was just Boy Wet Willy. No one really knew who the team was, like, and it took a while to get, like, I was inherited a team of a bunch of guys, and, like, sort of like something they put together, and I had to siphon through that for a long time and, like, get to know the guys, see who fit, who didn't fit, and then basically, like, kind of create my own team. And I'll say this. I'll say, like, in the end, the team I had of Andrew Cannon, Anthony Shetler, Derek Fukuhara, Timmy Knuth, Matt Mendenhall. That was an amazing team. Everybody brought something different to the table, and we worked hard. Every trip there was an agenda of, it wasn't just, oh, let's just go have fun, we'll get what we get. It was like, we're shooting photos for this. It was always work, but everybody was in for the cause.
Yeah.
So it was a very collective bunch. I'll say that someone who almost didn't happen was Derek Fukuhara.
Oh, okay.
I saw the vision of what he brought.
Yeah.
His style was just so fucking rad. And his trick selection and what he brought to the table. And I got a lot of, like, like, people that didn't want it or just didn't see it, and they were like, he's old, he's been around for a long time, how come he hasn't done it yet? Da-da-da, from, to the team riders, to my bosses, to people I work with, and I saw it, and I was like, nah, dude, you guys are wrong. Like, this is what we need on this team. He brings something completely different. For me, I always liked having a diverse set of team riders.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a bunch of copycats of the same thing. Like, it's boring. It brings no flavor. So him and Andrew Cannon, Andrew knew what he wanted, and he made it happen for himself. So I would say those are two dudes that you wouldn't have been like, those dudes were pro? Or they were pro for World?
What pro or pros did you fan out the most?
I think still to this day, if I saw Nadas, I would be like, holy shit, it's fucking Nadas, dude. I remember being a kid and seeing him here in New Orleans at Cafe Du Monde. And we came out because he had a demo the next day or something. And we saw him, we're like, oh shit, dude, da-da-da. And I don't think I ever met him. And maybe I've seen him here or there. Definitely Gons. And actually like a Mark Suciu. Like, because I just love his skating. Skating a backyard pool with Lance Mountain once. It was one of those, like, the little kid in me, like, holy shit, like, skating a pool with Lance Mountain.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I'm okay at transition, but to watch someone who skates pools and knows how to skate pools was a whole, to really appreciate, like, holy shit, like, this dude is ripping this. It's a whole different appreciation. Like, yeah, I mean, my ultimate would be Nadas, still to this day.
Sick. So the Toxic video. Toxic video was sick. The frontside flip in the Toxic video that you do on the quarter pipe. Do you remember this?
Of course.
It might have been the first one ever on a quarter pipe. Did you see anybody else do it?
That's a good question. I never was skating with someone and I saw them do it. Also, that video, my part, side note, was filmed in a weekend.
Oh.
Like, literally, Dave Crabb came out. We had a contest at Surf and Skate that Saturday or Sunday or something. And he came out to film me. And we street skated and then I skated the contest. Yeah, I learned it that day. And, like, landed a couple when we filmed it. I know Nadas actually had one on a quarter pipe in some video. And I don't know if it was before, after, whatever, but I know he had one, some tour video, or it was in some video. But no, I think I might have. I definitely was the first person in my crew that I saw do it. Ironically, another funny story I remember a session skating with Koston and Steve Barra. We were skating a parking garage, and I learned frontside flip tail slides on the curb. And I don't think I'd seen anyone else do it. And it was like an Oceanside or something, skating with those guys. But it's another kind of sort of that same trick.
Yeah.
And I just learned it at that session.
Speaking of, have you ever shot a photo with Daniel Harold Sturt?
I've shot a couple with Sturt. Yeah. Dan's a character. Yeah, that was H Street time. He was sort of the guy who shot all the H Street stuff. Todd and I were just talking about a particular photo, which he shared with me. I was shooting a photo with Sturt at night, and it was in Balboa Park at the Museum of Man, and it was a kinked rail. It was kinked rail. And I remember we're shooting the photo, and he kept making me do it. Do it again, do it again, do it again.
Yeah.
Get more on top, do it again. So, I probably did it 20 times. And I was all right, cool. He's all right, yeah, I got the shot. Rad. So, okay, cool. The photo comes out, and it was in a Transworld photo annual. And realistically, he took a photo of the building, and in the photo, I'm this big.
Yes.
So I remember being so upset when I saw it. It was why the fuck did he make me do it so many times? But looking back now, I can fully appreciate the photo because it's this rad photo of the building, and then if you look closely, someone's skating.
So I might botch this name, okay? But who has a better style? Gotham Sahi or Shannon May?
No, you got both the names right. And that question is unanswerable because it's apples and oranges. You know what I mean? It's like both their styles are amazing in completely different ways. Shannon's skateboarding just looks beautiful, right? It's like, doesn't matter what he does. Like, it could be a backside ollie, it could be a wheel slide, whatever. It could be pushing. Like, his natural looks, feel, and style on the skateboard, his effort, it looks effortless, but not super polished. It just looks good. And Gotham's on the other end of the spectrum. He's like messy. It's going to be all sketchy, but damn, it looks good. Like, it looks right that way. His wouldn't look right if it was clean and perfect.
Top 5 pros.
Top 5 pros. All time or just?
Let's do all time.
Top 5. I'm going to Mark Succi.
Okay.
Nodis. Gosh. Koston.
Okay.
Koston, I got to like watch him become Koston. You know what I mean? Like, we were both young kids that rode for 8th Street. We lived at the 8th Street house, shared a room. So I really got to see him become who he became. And to this day, still like, even him like dorking around, being silly, is amazing.
Yeah.
Gosh, Jordan, just because I'll always have an affinity for dudes from Louisiana. Sal, because he paved the way. There's no Jordans, Charlies, Dwaynes, Philly, anyone from Justin Roy, to me, without Sal. Someone had to say, hey, we can do this. We can make it happen. Number 5, Philip. Just because, not just for his skateboarding. It's him all together, because what he does for the community, what he does outside skateboarding, his skateboarding, the way he looks on a skateboard, like everything that's right and in and outside of skateboarding is him in a nutshell.
That's a great top 5. What's your favorite video?
Photosynthesis.
Sick.
Dill's part in photosynthesis. To this day, I would watch it anytime.
Now, your clips. What's the biggest thing you've ever backside 360?
Biggest? Ooh, man.
Favorite. Could be favorite. Biggest, favorite, either one.
There's a double set in, it's in the friends section of one of the foundation videos. There's this double set at back 3. That might be the biggest, but I think my favorite back 3 clip is out of a bump, and it was in the Hollywood Ontage. It's just the way I catch it, scoop it, and it was sort of like when that trick started to come back, and people were like, that became like a sick trick again. I'm like, cool, because I've been doing it forever.
Special question.
From who, Jordan?
From Jordan.
Okay.
How come you never hit me up to skate anymore?
I'm a dad. I got I guess because when I have my time, it's this short window. So it's like, hey, I got to go now. Like, but I'll hit you up, Jordan. I do from time to time, but I guess I will usually hit up Todd. But hey, I'm going to do this. Do you want to meet me up? Yeah, it's a time thing. Realistically, it's like I got to do it when I can do it. And sometimes I don't hit anybody up, and I'm just like, yo, I got a half an hour right now. Or I got like, because for me, like, it's all bonus now. Anytime I skate is bonus time, right? Like, because the more important thing to me right now is being a dad, having family time, and like being there for them. Or like my daughter's 5, so it's at a super cool age. She actually she's got a skateboard coming. So, and she's asked me a couple times, Dad, can I come? Can I go skateboarding? Will you teach me on skateboard? So I'll have more time because it'll be like time with her. So when I can skate, I really cherish the time that I have. So I'm a little head down go. So Jordan, I apologize, but I'll hit you up, man.
Do you have any last words? Do you have anybody you want to thank?
I have a lot. Yeah, I'm thankful for all of it. One, thank you, Philly, Humidity, for this opportunity, for an old man to get in front of a camera and tell a story. Thank you to New Balance for giving me shoes. It's been like for quite a few years, and definitely is appreciated. For Andrew Cannon gives me skateboards. My wife for understanding when I'm like, hey, I got to go skate. But I'm actually just eternally grateful for all the opportunities that skateboarding gave me, and being able to do it for this long and travel all over the world and be able to help others to do it. Because if you were from Louisiana or you were someone I knew and I had an opportunity to help you or give you skateboards or do whatever, here you go. Here you go. What can I do? Da, 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 da. Because there's nothing better than paying it forward, right? So if I'm not giving back, then why did I get it? So just for skateboarding in general, thank you.